Let us look at the next section, students. This section contains 3 questions. The answer to these questions are in the form of double-digit integers. So if you look at question number 38 now, consider the following information about the compound C4H11N. The degree of unsaturation of this compound is equal to 0. So the compound is saturated. So the examiner tells us that the number of primary amines is equal to X, the number of secondary amines is equal to Y, and the number of tertiary amines is equal to Z. We are not to be bothered with the stereoisomers. So the examiner seems to be interested in the total number of the isomers. So if you look at the primary amines, so about the primary amines, we are going to have a main chain of 4 carbons. So for 4 carbon chain, we can have 2 different positions where the amine group can be attached. It can be attached here and it can be attached here. So we're going to have 2 amines in which the main chain consists of 4 carbons. Now we can have branching in the 4 carbons. The main chain can be of 3 carbons with a methyl substitution. So if we talk about this group, we can have 2 different positions where the amine group can be added to the main chain. So this is also going to have 2 isomers as well. So the total number of primary amines is going to be equal to 4. So the value of X is 4. If you talk about the secondary amines now, we can have 2 different possibilities. So we have a total of 4 carbons. So we can have C1 NHC3 and we can have C2NH C2. So the C2NH-C2 is only going to have one single isomer. And if you talk about C1NH-C3, so the C3 can have 2 different type of positions where the amine group can be attached. So we can have the amine attached here or we can have the amine attached over here. So the first metamer is going to give 2 different isomers, whereas the second one is only going to have one single isomer. So the value of Y shall be equal to 3. And if we talk about the number of tertiary amines, so in tertiary amines, we're going to have only one single option. The nitrogen has to be added to 3 carbon chains. So we can have C1, C1, and the third has to be obviously a C2. So this has only one single isomer. So the value of Z is equal to 1. Students, for this question, we have X is equal to 4, we have Y is equal to 3, and we have Z equal to 1. So the total sum of X plus Y plus Z comes out to be equal to 8. So for this question, we have to mark the answer as 0, 8. Let us look at the next question. Question number 39. So we have been given a reaction in which the sodium salt of propanoic acid is allowed to undergo soda lime decarboxylation to form product A. It is allowed to undergo coal-based electrolysis to form product B. So the examiner seems to be interested in the difference in the molar mass of B and A. So the atomic masses have been given to us. So if we try and figure out the major product, which is A. So soda lime causes decarboxylation. So there will be a loss of CO2 molecule and we are going to have the formation of ethane in this case. So we'll have the formation of CH3CH3. And if we talk about the coal-based electrolysis now, the coal-based electrolysis proceeds via the free radical mechanism in which the anion move towards the anode and CO2 is liberated and the carbon ion which is left behind will lose an electron to form a radical. So we're going to have CH3CH2 radical and it shall be coupled with another CH2CH3 radical and we are going to have the formation of butane in this case. So students, if we look at the structures of A and B, they differ by a CH2CH2 group and the mass of this CH2CH2 group is equal to 28. So students, for this question, we have to mark the answer as 28. Let us look at the last question of the paper. An organic compound C7H16, which is N-heptane, on heating with chromium oxide at 773 Kelvin and 10 to 20 atmosphere forms an aromatic compound P. So we know that the compound P is toluene. Now, it is further told to us that the compound P on reaction with hot acidified KMnO4, it forms the organic product Q. So Q has to be benzoic acid. It is a very strong oxidizing agent and converts toluene into benzoic acid. And the examiner seems to be interested in the degree of unsaturation of Q. So we have Q, we have 3 double bonds, we have a ring, and we have a C double bond O linkage as well. So we have a total of 5 unsaturation present in the system. So the value of X shall be equal to 5. And the examiner seems to be interested in the value of X square. So the value of X square will come out to be equal to 25. So students, for this question, we have to mark 25 as the correct answer. This is it for today, guys. I hope the solutions were clear to you. Thank you.